there, it's Nina here with Walla Stamping. Thank you so much for stopping by my craft room today and giving me this opportunity to share this awesome little project with you. So, have you ever considered using your heart shape and your layering ovals dies to make animals with? Well, if you haven't, I'm going to be sharing that with you today. These are some great little treat bags, and they're just in time for Easter. I think these are going to be perfect if you have an elementary age school child that you want to send some treats to their classmates or their teachers, librarian, whoever it might be. So I know frogs don't necessarily say Easter, but I just felt like a little frog is so boyish, you know, and you think in your mind about the Norman Rockwell paintings. A lot of times those little dudes would have on overalls with a frog sticking out of a pocket or holding it in their hand. So I always associate frogs with little boys, and personally I love frogs. I think they're adorable. So here's a little treat bag, and for the little dudes I made a frog. Now of course you can't have Easter and not include a bunny rabbit. So here's the little bunny rabbit. What I'm going to be showing you how to do today is create this little treat bag, and I'm going to show you how to make the frog and the rabbit, and then the rabbit is going to go onto the bag that I'm going to show you how to make. So let me show you everything you're going to need to create this project. So here is a little bit closer look at this adorable little treat bag, and I love this frog. He is so cute. Can you see how he's got little blush on his cheeks and he has a bow tie? So cute. And then the little bunny, I decided to make her a girl, and I gave her a little pink ribbon in her hair. So, and then she's got cute little blush cheeks too. I'm going to show you how to accomplish that in this project also. So first of all, I want to show you how to create the bag, which is super easy. This piece of Bubbles and Fizz Designer Series paper is cut to 8 inches by 5.5, and this is the paper that is free with a $50 purchase before shipping and tax. So remember that celebration ends on March 31st. So if this is a paper that you want to get, go ahead and get your order placed so that you can get your free stuff. Alrighty, so we're going to start out by scoring at 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 3 3/4, 7, 7 1/4, 7 1/2. And I'm going to turn a quarter turn to the right and then just score at 1/2 of an inch right there. So that is it. That's all the scoring. Now we're going to go ahead and get our score lines folded and burnished, and you probably are not going to be able to see them on this particular paper because of the pattern and the color, but this is what you're going to do. So I have 3 score lines here and 3 score lines there. They're each a 1/4 inch apart. This is going to end up being folded like a fan or mountain valley. So your first score line, fold that so that the insides meet. Then the second score line, you're going to fold the opposite direction so the outside of the paper meets. And then the third score line, we're going to do like the first, where it gets folded back over and the insides meet. So let's do that again. The outside score line, or the first score line, gets folded in. The second score line, the center one, gets folded out. The third score line gets folded in, and I'll show you what this would look like when you get done. Alright, let me get those back in place here real quick. Okay, so when you get those folded, they're going to look like this, kind of like a fan or a mountain valley. So we do have a little bit of cutting to do. Let me go ahead and get this 1/2 inch score line down here folded and burnished real quick. So what you're going to want to do, now I'm going to turn my paper so that my 1/2 inch tab is at the top, and then here is the 1/2 inch right here. I'm just going to cut straight along the score line. Actually, I'm going to turn it over because I can see better on this side. So I'm going to cut straight up this 1/2 inch score line and come all the way up until I get to this third score line from the bottom. Then I'm going to cut that at a wedge right there. Then over on this side, I'm going to cut straight up that score line, stopping at the third one, third horizontal, then cut that at an angle because that's a tab that's going to help hold our bag together. This little 1/2 inch tab out here, I'm going to cut little wedges out of it as well. All right, so now we want to put this together. What you're going to do in the beginning is your first score line and your center score line, you're going to get those folded just like that. I like to take my bone folder and just reinforce it a little bit to make sure it stays where I want it to. Do the same thing on this side. So I still have a score line right there that's laying open and flat, okay? Now real quick, I'm going to flip this over. I'm just going to use Fuse and run a piece right down this tab right here, as well as this bottom tab. Okay, flip that back over. Try not to let that touch my work surface. So I'm going to flip this bottom one up so that it is actually coming across the top of that center fold. I'm going to fold this side piece in and get that stuck into the adhesive on that bottom one. Then I'm going to fold this one over. Oop, I'm sticking to my paper. Get everything lined up. Make sure I have everything where I want it before I let it get stuck down. Hang on just a second. It's trying to grab before I want it to. There we go. All right, so I'm going to stick that down. Then I'm just going to take my bone folder and just recrease everything all the way around. There we go. Now the reason that I did it that way was so that you wouldn't have a 1/2 inch tab sticking out here and along the side. This way it's almost seamless because it's right here along the bottom and the edge. All right, so there is our bag. What we're going to do next is poke a couple of holes in the top. Going to use my 1/8 inch hole punch. I'm going to come in about 1 inch from the outside edges of the bag and then go in about 1/2 inch and punch. Do the same thing over here. Hopefully I'll get those lined up. Perfect. Go ahead and get your candy put in there. Then for this one, I'm going to use a piece of my Classic Weave Whisper White, and I don't have much left, so I hope that this is enough to do what I want to do. I didn't realize I was so close to the end of the spool. So I'm putting my ribbon in from the back of the bag through to the front. Pull that through. Do the same thing on this side. Come in from the back and into the front. All right. Then I'm just going to tie this into a bow. Grab my scissors and just snip a little bit off those ends right there and right there. So my bag is complete. How cute and how easy was that? Now let's go ahead and get this adorable bunny made. So what you'll need for your bunny is 2 hearts that will be cut from the third from the largest heart. Then you're going to need 2 scalloped ovals, and these are cut from the second from the smallest. Then you're going to need 3 plain ovals out of some powder pink, and those are going to be cut with the very smallest plain oval. So let's get our ears put together first. I'm just going to go ahead and use my fast fuse. It's right here and handy. Stick these right down here by the bottom of that first or scalloped oval. Do the same thing with the second one. Okay. Then, before I move on, I want to do a little bit of shading. So I've got my powder pink ink. I'm just going to take my heart and put a little bit of this powder pink all around the edges. I didn't do this on the first one, but I think that it's going to add a lot of detail. I'm going to go ahead and do this one too, but I'm not using this whole heart, so I'm just going to run around the 2 bumps is what I'm going to call them on that heart. Let's go ahead and go around the outside of the ears. Now, I wanted to make mention that I had a list of all of the supplies that I'm using at the very beginning of this video, and I had all of the measurements of all of the paper that you're going to need to cut everything out with as well. And that will also be at the very end of the video, so you don't have to worry about trying to write everything, because I'm going to have it listed for you. And then over on my blog, you can get an instruction sheet with it on there too. Alright, so I've colored around the outside, colored around the outside curve of this oval. What I'm going to do next is, about the bottom third or so of this oval, I'm going to cut, but I'm going to cut it at an arched shape like that. I'm going to put a little more color on this part that I just cut. I'm going to leave that ink out because I'll need it. So now all we have to do is assemble everything. Now you can use whatever adhesive you like. I'm just going to go ahead and use my multi-purpose liquid glue. So this heart will get turned, nope, that's the one for the chin. This heart will get turned upside down. I'm going to place one ear right here, and I'm going to line this side up center with this point right here, and then turn the ear out to the side just a little bit. Put some glue on this one and do the same thing, and they're going to overlap just a little bit. That's all right, doesn't bother me a bit. Now for the chin, I'm going to take this other heart that I have, and I'm going to cut straight across and just cut that little bump part off right there. Now I'm going to flip this over and put some adhesive right here where that curved part goes in. Pick that up, lay this down, and then lay that right on top just like that. Perfect. So cute. Love it. Now I'm going to put his nose up on a dimensional. I'm just using a mini one. Or her. This is a her bunny. Then I'm going to put that nose right there. So cute. I'm going to take a Sharpie marker and I'm going to give it some whiskers. I'm just going to put some little dots right here and then 2 more right there. So a total of 5. So do 3 in a row and then 2 right there. Then for the eyes, I'm just going to use the bigger end of my Sharpie. Just make a couple of dots right there. Now you can do the eyes any way you want to. If you want to punch out some small pieces of basic black cardstock, you can, but I didn't want to fiddle with something that small. What I'm going to do next is take the small end of my Sharpie, give her a couple of eyelashes. Oops, she's sticking into some glue right there. She's got really long eyelashes, and I moved that ear because that glue was not quite dry yet. Okay, so there's our bunny. All we got to do is give her a bow in her hair now. So I'm going to take my shimmer ribbon. And by the way, this shimmer ribbon, this one is powder pink. There's 4 colors of this ribbon. There's basic black, pear pizzazz, powder pink, and I'm forgetting, I can't remember what the last color was. Maybe it was Whisper White, I forget. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I am giving shimmer ribbon as a thank you gift to my customers during the month of March who place an order of $75 or more. And then if you consider the fact that I'm going to be giving you a $7 spool of ribbon, and you're going to be getting freebies from Stampin' Up that could be worth, I don't know, 20 bucks or something. That is a sale and a half right there. So all I did was tie this in a knot, put it on her ear with a glue dot, and then trim off the excess ribbon to make that bow the size that I want it to be. Now let's give her some cute little blushy cheeks. I have this little brush that came in a kit when, or a paper pumpkin kit when the watercolor pencils came around, and it has been very handy. This is something that is really handy to use it for is trying to add some color in a little small area like this. So I'm just dipping my brush into my powder pink ink and then just going around in circles on her little cheeks to give her some little rosy cheeks. How cute is that? Love it, love it. Okay, so our little girl bunny is done. Gonna flip this over. Gonna grab a few more glue dots. I have my minis here. I'm just going to use those. You can use the regular size ones if you want to. Then I'm gonna put 3 right across the middle in the back, and the reason I'm doing that is because when you get candy put down in this bag, chances are it's going to, let me get the first bag. See how it's expanded there from what I've got inside? So I wanted to make sure that it didn't curve with the bag, so that's why I'm just adhering it right there in that little portion. So as the bag moves, the bunny and the frog will kind of stick up off the bag. So there is our bunny and our bag made. Now let's put this frog together. So I'm going to have 3 old olive ovals. The head, I've used the 3rd from the largest to cut that out. Then the little face is the 5th from the largest oval. Then I have the 2nd from the largest oval for part of the eyes. And then for the whites and the pupils of the eyes, I've cut 1 from white, 1 from basic black with the very smallest oval. Now what I did was I took my old olive, my sponge, and just like I did with the bunny, I went all the way around all 3 pieces of the old olive. I'm going to slide these over for just a second because I'm going to need my Simply Scored to do a little bit of scoring. I'm going to take the part that's going to be his eyes. It is 2 inches, so I'm putting it in here straight and I'm scoring at 1 inch. Then I'm going to take the white, which is about 1 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to score that at 7/8. And then the black one, I'm going to score at 7/8 of an inch. Now the reason for the scoring is to know where to cut. So let's go ahead and get these pieces trimmed. So I'm going to grab this part, cut that in half right on that score line. Then I'm going to do the white next, cut that in half. Then on the black one, I'm going to fold it on that score line. So I've folded that in half, and then I'm going to cut this in half. So just like that, cut that in half, and I'm going to keep those 2 little rounded pieces. Alright, so I'm just going to use some glue dots to build this with. It's quick and easy. I just love using glue dots. They make an easy job out of everything. Get those taped right there. Then the little pupils will go on top. Line that up at the bottom, get that stuck down, and do the same thing with this one. Line it up at the bottom, get that stuck down. Now we want to attach this to his head, but before we do that, I want to show you how I got his little smile on there. So I took my smallest oval and my Sharpie. Something is wrong with my Sharpie. It's not wanting to work right. I just lined it up on top of my oval like this and got it centered up, then just used my oval to trace around the outside edges to give him a smile. Then I'm going to draw some little curved lines right there and right there to kind of make it look like a cheek. Now I'm going to give him some blushy little cheeks just the same way I did with the bunny. See if I don't think I have any ink on there. Alright, I'm going to use my dimensionals to pop his little face up. And I've got my minis over here, so I'm just going to continue on using those. So now I'm going to lay that down right here. So I still want some of this part showing, but I want a bigger portion showing up here on the top. Just going to use some glue dots again, put a couple on the back of these eyes. Turn these over, decide where they're going to slide under there, and I do want it to slide under that little rounded part right there. And just like I did on the bunny, I'm going to tilt those outwards just a little bit. And I forgot to give him a nose because he's got to be able to breathe. So I'm just going to make a couple little diagonal marks just like that. Now he needs a bow tie. And this is what's going to show that he is a little fella. So I'm using some of my Lemon Lime Twist Classic Weave ribbon. Tying that in a single knot just like I did with her bow. Use a glue dot to stick that right down here under his chin. Let's see if I can get that tied a little bit tighter. Stick that under his chin, use my scissors, and make those short over here on the sides, because I do want it to look like it's a bow tie. Alright, here they are, the bag with the adorable frog, and then I showed you how to make the frog and the bunny. Weren't those so cute and fun to make? I think they're awesome. I love them. So thank you again for spending time with me and allowing me to share this great little project with you. So cute, great for elementary age school kids, even for co-workers and adults. I think this would brighten up anybody's day, especially if there's some sweet treats in there. I have to apologize for the way that I look. I look like a ragamuffin, but I'm getting ready to go to the gym and work out, and I just didn't see the point in getting all frou-frued up to do this video just to have to wash my face and change my clothes so I could go to the gym. So this is me being me. Hope you don't mind. Anyway, if you like this project and you want to be able to make it, then just go over to my blog. I'll have instructions there. Make sure that you sign up for my newsletter while you're there so that you can get exclusive tutorials and special promotions from me. And if you like this video and you want to see more like it, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. If you need any of the products that I've used, they're listed in the description below the video, as well as at the end of this video and on the blog post for this project. So thank you again. I'm Nina with Walla Stamping. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon.